In a hospice in Palm Springs, a 54-year-old man is dying. His name is Timothy Ray Brown. And years ago, he made medical history. He became the first human being ever cured of HIV, the virus that's killed tens of millions. It was wiped from his body, and for 13 years, it never returned. He beat the unbeatable. And yet, here he is, dying. Not from HIV, but from cancer. From the very disease whose treatment had cured his HIV in the first place. But to understand any of that, you have to go back. Brown was an American who'd built a life in Berlin, which is exactly why the world only ever knew him by a nickname, the Berlin Patient. And it all turned on what happened there in 2007. Now, here's the part people get wrong about HIV. By the time Brown was infected back in 1995, it wasn't the death sentence it used to be. New drugs had arrived. Take a pill every day, and the virus stays down, almost invisible, for the rest of your life. Truth is, it became something you manage, like diabetes and insulin. You live, you work, you're fine. But there's a catch, a big one. Those pills never cured anyone, ever. The virus doesn't leave. It hides. It buries itself deep inside your own cells, and it waits. And the second you stop the pills, it comes roaring back, usually within about 3 weeks. So that was the deal with HIV for 40 years. You could cage it. You could never kill it. Nobody, anywhere, ever had. Until a guy in Berlin stopped taking his pills. And the virus just never showed up again. For over a decade, that was Brown's life. Pills, routine. Working as a translator, the virus kept on a leash. And then, in 2006, life decided he hadn't suffered enough. Because misery never comes alone. He was exhausted, anemic. The diagnosis, acute myeloid leukemia, blood cancer. Completely unrelated to the HIV. Just a second disease, stacked on top of the first, and this one was coming to kill him fast. His cancer doctor was a young guy named Gero Hütter. And here's the twist nobody saw coming. Hütter didn't even treat HIV. He was an oncologist. But somewhere in the back of his mind sat a paper he'd read years earlier, as a student, about a tiny handful of people who are basically born immune to HIV. Why? One missing part. To break into your cells, HIV needs a specific docking point on the surface, a receptor called CCR5. You know those toddler toys where you push the shapes through the matching holes? The star goes in the star hole. HIV has its shape, and CCR5 is its slot. But about 1 in 100 people of European descent are born with that slot missing entirely. A solid panel where the hole should be. The virus shows up, holding its peace, looking for the way in, and there just isn't one. So Hütter had an idea no one had ever pulled off. Brown needed a bone marrow transplant for the leukemia anyway. A whole new immune system from a donor. So what if that donor wasn't just a match, but also one of those rare people born without the door? Cure the cancer. Lock out the virus. One shot. They searched. Over 200 donors. The 61st one had it. 2 copies. The missing hole. Now put yourself in Brown's shoes. You've got HIV. You've got an aggressive cancer about to end you. You're cornered. And when you're cornered like that, you grab any hand that reaches for you. You'd trust the quack on the street corner if he swore he could buy you another year? So when the doctors offered him a transplant that had never once cured a human being of HIV, the math was brutal and simple. He was dying either way. Roll the dice. If it fails, you were dead anyway. If it works, you walk out clean of both. He said yes, February 2007. The day of the transplant, Brown does something that terrifies his doctors. He stops taking his HIV pills. After more than 10 years, nothing is holding the virus back. First, they have to burn it all down. Heavy chemo and full-body radiation. wiping out the immune system he was born with. The factory in his bones, scorched almost to nothing. It is about the most violent thing medicine can do to a living person. Then they pour in the donor's cells, the ones with the missing door, and they wait. It worked. The new immune system grew in, and when the doctors went hunting for the virus, blood, tissue, everywhere, they came up empty. 3 months, no pills. HIV, undetectable. The new system had no door, and the virus had nowhere left to live. For a while, Brown was flying. HIV gone. Cancer in remission. Back to work, back to the gym, putting on real muscle he'd never had. The impossible had just worked. And then the leukemia came back. The cancer returns, and the doctors make a gut-wrenching call. Do the whole thing again. Second transplant. Same donor. This time it nearly tore him apart. His body went into a tailspin, a severe neurological collapse. He went almost blind, nearly paralyzed, couldn't walk. His mind started slipping away from him, whole stretches lost to delirium. He had to be taught to walk again, like a child. Later, he asked Hütter the question out loud. What were my odds? The answer? Around 5%. Sit with that. To become the first person ever cured of HIV, this man had to walk right up to the edge of death. And the thing shoving him there wasn't the virus. It was the cure. HIV never made him this sick. The treatment that erased it almost erased him. And even after he pulled through, even after the second transplant held and the cancer backed off again, one question still hung in the air, refusing to leave. They'd torched his old immune system and built him a new one the virus couldn't touch. But had they really cured him? Or was it just hiding, waiting? The way it always did. For months, the scientists closest to this were scared to say one word: cured. When Brown's case first hit the research world in 2008, it wasn't fireworks. It was a quiet little poster at a conference, the slot reserved for stuff too shaky to trust. People walked right past it, and the ones who stopped, they were skeptical, and they had a point. Because here's the thing about medicine. One guy is not proof. One case is not a sample. You need it replicable, quantifiable, repeatable in somebody else. With a single patient, you've got a miracle story, not a cure. So when they finally published in 2009, they refused to use the word. The title said long-term control. The editorial said it flat out. This is not an HIV cure, just a promising direction. But the virus never came back. Month after month, year after year, they kept looking, and it kept not being there. By 2011, the proof was too loud to ignore, and a follow-up finally said it. The evidence strongly suggests this man has been cured. In 2010, Brown stopped hiding. He told the world who the Berlin patient was. He became an activist. And he said the line that traveled everywhere. I don't want to be the only one. His case was a one-off. He knew it. And he used it to carry a message he believed in. But for a long, brutal stretch, he stayed the only one. And here's what most people get wrong. They think the world just shrugged and moved on. The opposite happened. Brown's case lit a fire under HIV research. Money poured in. A whole consortium formed, hunting for a way to do it again. They tried. The Boston patients got transplants too, and the virus vanished. And then came roaring back, because their donors didn't have the missing door. That failure taught the lesson. The mutation was everything. So this was never neglect. It was difficulty. The combination you need, a dying cancer patient who can be matched to a donor born without that door, is so rare, and the procedure so deadly that it took 12 more years to line it up a second time. And here's the part that flips the whole story. By the obvious scorecard, you could call Berlin a failure. The man nearly died. You could never hand this to ordinary people. It'd kill most of them. For over a decade, nobody could repeat it. A fluke, the critics said. But look closer, because that fluke proved the one thing nobody had ever proven, that a human being can be cured of HIV. Full stop. The wall was never the virus. The wall was that one little doorway, and rip the door out. And the deadliest virus on Earth has nowhere to go. And the world caught up. In 2019, a second man, the London patient, was cured the exact same way, donor and all. This time, gentler. He never got as close to death as Brown did. Berlin wasn't a fluke. It was a map, and more have followed since. This isn't false hope dangled in front of the millions living with HIV. It's a last resort, the final door, for the ones who've run out of every other option. But the door is real. It opens. Brown didn't see most of it. In 2019, the disease that started all of this, the leukemia, came back one last time. It spread to his spine, to his brain, and in September 2020, Timothy Ray Brown died, 54 years old. But understand this, the HIV never came back. Not at the end, not ever. The virus the whole world swore could never be beaten stayed gone until his final breath. What killed the first man ever cured of HIV wasn't HIV. It was the cancer, the very thing that handed him the cure to begin with. And maybe that's what stays with you, not some tidy lesson, just the sheer jaw-dropping fact that this happened. And almost nobody knows it. A man's flat refusal to die. A cancer doctor who remembered one forgotten paper and bet a life on it. And a single desperate gamble in Berlin that shoved the entire search for a cure forward by more than a decade. It sounds like a movie. Every word of it is true.